Section number 10, secrets to avoiding dreaded copyright issues. So nearly 99% of the footage used in all of my YouTube videos is actually taken from other YouTube videos without their permission, right? And people are legally allowed to do it thanks to something called fair use, right? None of my editors even have paid memberships to stock footage sites because they just download mostly everything from YouTube. If they can't find something that they need from YouTube, then they download it from, Pexels, Pixabay, or Google Images. And I've actually had a number of people email me and my support saying that, they feel like this business model is unethical, you're just copying other people's videos, but that's not what we're doing at all, right? If you actually look at similar videos to the one you're taking inspiration from, search that video on YouTube and you will literally notice everyone is taking clips from each other. This guy's video, things caught on dashcam, these aren't even his videos, right? So how is that unethical if you're just repackaging what's already in this video into your own form if these aren't even his videos? He gathered these all around from the internet, right? And I promise you, if you don't do it, someone else will. It happens all day long, and people copy my channels too, right? They copy me word for word, which I don't teach you to go out and copy people word for word, right? You make it your own. But people copy me word for word all the time. And you know what? Whatever, right? That's how it works. That's how the game of YouTube works. And people are going to do it. It happens all day long. And YouTube doesn't mind if a video is made from repurposed content, as long as you're adding a unique voiceover, you're adding edits, and you're improvising the original work, right? Making it fair use. What they don't like is if you just straight up download someone's video and re-upload it without changing it at all, right? You can't do that. That's illegal. What we're doing here is not unethical, and it's perfectly legal to do, right? Everybody does it, and I suggest you do it as well. So here's a few things that you need to remember in order to avoid copyright issues, and you should take notes of these. And as a disclaimer, of course, I'm not a lawyer, right? And you should consult your own legal advice. So number one, use the 7-second rule. So whenever you're taking clips from other videos, you want to make sure that you don't run a clip longer than 7 seconds. And you might be asking, well, Dylan, a lot of these videos in here, these dashcam videos, these are way longer than 7 seconds. Well, that's if you don't change anything to it. Because we're adding a voiceover to it, we're going to add our channel logo on here, right? Which, by the way, is just text that says the channel name. It's not even a real logo, but because you're adding all that, that's fair use. Right, you have to add value to the video you're repurposing. Add edits, add sound effects, voiceovers, images, GIFs, right? Whatever you can. Cuts. And stay away from videos that include sports, movies, TV show, or any music that isn't in the YouTube audio library. Because unless you're willing to constantly battle copyright issues, I would stay away from that. And if you are in one of those niches, I would just use images and GIFs. I wouldn't even use videos if you're in the sports niche, right? Unless you're willing to actually pay for licenses for the videos you use. Because what I've found is most copyright issues on YouTube don't actually stem from images. It's usually videos. And of course, always use copyright-free music from the YouTube audio library. Don't get it from anywhere else. Trust me, it is such a pain later down the line when you got to deal with all those copyright issues. And to further mitigate copyright issues, you should add credit to wherever you got the video from. Very, very small in the bottom corner. Also, down in the description, I always include something like, if any of the clips in this video are yours and you'd like it removed, please email me here, before taking any action. I'll gladly take down the video. Thank you, right? And I've never had anyone actually email me, but the point is, when you do that, give credit, it prevents false copyright claims because you're still doing everything legally with fair use, but some people might see that you use their clip and they think that they have a right to take down your video, which they don't, and it just prevents a huge mess from happening. So if you do run into any copyright issues, here's what you need to know. First of all, YouTube's going to notify you via email, and it'll typically be what's called a content ID claim. And these claims are automatically generated, right? There's no person actually, being mad at you and reporting your video. It's all automatic. And it can get a little confusing. So content ID, copyright strike, copyright takedown, counterclaims, and video blocked. What do each one mean? So a content ID, again, this is an automated process. It doesn't mean anyone at YouTube or anyone is, manually trying to claim your video. It's all automated. And so every single video, when it's uploaded to YouTube, it's scanned by YouTube's incredibly complex system, and it tries to match it through YouTube's database of videos, right? And so if a match is found, then the video gets a content ID claim. And then whoever actually owns that content, then they can decide what happens to the content in the YouTube video. So what do you do if your video has a content ID claim? Number one, do nothing, right? If you really believe that it's fair use, just leave it, right? You can also change your mind later. Second option is just remove the claimed content. So if you believe that you made a mistake, just remove the claimed content. And YouTube has a feature to do that within the YouTube Studio, so you don't actually have to re-upload the video. You can trim it out within YouTube. If it's an audio claim, you can just replace the song or mute it. The third option is you can just share the revenue. So if your video is claimed, instead of taking it down or removing the content, you could actually just choose to share the revenue with whoever's claiming it. Or if you disagree with it and you know that it's fair use, then you can dispute it. And here's a text that we use that works really well. Again, this isn't legal advice, but the claimed content in this video is an example of fair use, since this clip makes up a very small portion of this video and is transformative, right? And it goes on to explain how it's transformative. Just copy and paste this, change it to whatever the circumstances are, and submit that, and you'll be fine. So tags and the description are very important when it comes to content ID, because sometimes people will try to claim your video, right? And again, this is all automated. Copyright holders can submit stuff to YouTube saying, hey, any videos that say SpongeBob full episodes, take those down. So just be careful with what you're putting in the title, because that can automatically trigger a content ID to take place, even if it's not a valid one. So that's all about content ID claims. Now, a copyright strike. So a copyright strike, that means someone actually submitted a claim, right? It wasn't automated at all. Someone is, trying to come after you. So once they submit that, YouTube will review the video, and they'll decide what happens to it. If they agree with whoever submitted the complaint, your video will be removed. It's going to impact your channel, and you'll actually have to go through a program called Copyright School, right? You have to go through this program called Copyright School before you can upload any more videos. Luckily, I have never had to do that myself, but I've heard of it happening before. So if you just get one copyright strike, it's no big deal, right? Try to learn from it. Don't do it again. But if you get 3 strikes, your whole channel is going to be terminated, permanently banned, and every single video that you've uploaded to your account is going to be permanently deleted, and you're not going to be able to create any new channels. So for this reason, if you ever receive 2 strikes, and again, these aren't to be confused with claims, they're very, very different. If you receive 2 strikes, you need to put all your videos on private for 90 days until you only have 1 strike. And the reason I recommend doing this is if you get 3 strikes, your YouTube channel is going to be automatically deleted, right? No going back, right? And so if you get a copyright strike, 3 ways to resolve it. Number 1, wait for it to expire, right? It's going to expire after 90 days. Again, if it's your first copyright strike, you're going to have to attend copyright school. Second way is to reach out to the person who claimed your video and ask them to remove the claim if you believe that they're in the wrong and you're abiding the fair use. Third way is to submit a counter notification. So if you think your video was removed by mistake or it qualifies by fair use, you could submit a counter notification. So, and we're going to discuss later how to get your channel back if for whatever reason it does get terminated. But just keep in mind that if it does get terminated for a valid reason, it's gone, right? There's nothing you can do. So how do you submit a counter notification? So this is a legal request for YouTube to reinstate the video that was taken down. And you should only do this if you seriously believe that it was fair use, right? 'Cause some people abuse this and they try to take down a bunch of people's videos. So, it might happen. Just make sure that you're pretty confident that it was in fact fair use before you do this. And this stuff gets pretty complicated. So I would actually recommend reading more on the YouTube help page. They kind of share, how to prepare a counter notification. And again, I'm not a lawyer here, so I'm not going to go into how to prepare that. And hopefully it's just something that you never have to worry about. So let's talk about fair use on YouTube. So there's really no magic words to automatically apply fair use. So when you use someone else's copyrighted work, there's no guarantee that you're protected by fair use. So in short, what fair use allows you to do is take someone else's video without their permission and use it in your own video as long as you're adding value via editing, a voiceover, sounds, cuts, all this stuff. Right? You just need to make sure that you're actually making changes to it, right? As long as you are adding a voiceover, right? A human voiceover on top of it, you're cutting the footage, you're moving it around, you're adding value to the people watching, and you're not just straight up copying somebody's video and re-uploading it, then you're going to be fine. Trust me, you will be fine. And there's some examples of fair use here if you want to check those out. YouTube has a ton of them in this playlist here. Right? You can go through all these, see what fair use is. But really, like I said, at the end of the day, as long as you're making it your own by adding a voiceover, making cuts, and just changing it up, that will be considered fair use. So YouTube, for the most part, will stand by your side, right? And as long as you follow everything that I tell you to do and show you examples of, you will be totally fine. So with that being said, I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.